don't be that person who dumps all of their dirty clothes on their chair or just leaves them on the floor in their room. You don't want to be that person. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Emma here, and today I thought I'd do a video about my top 20, 25-ish moving out essentials, and that is because obviously you guys will know by now that I'm moving out of my family home soon and moving into my own place with a couple of friends to start my new job. So I thought this would be a really handy video for people who are like me and moving out for their first job or a new job or just relocating, and even for people who are moving to university for the first time or maybe returning for their second or third year. And this video might just help you guys to remember those essentials that you keep forgetting to bring. Some of them I would say are a little bit obvious, but some I would like to say are a little bit more innovative, and after graduating I thought, wow, I really wish I'd brought that to university, for example. So I hope you find this video useful. I hope that you can be surprised maybe by some of the things I've put on my list, and I hope this video will help you not to forget some of the things that I forgot when I was a student. So first up, and I would say this is the most important thing to bring, but I definitely forgot to bring them with me and ended up having to go to the shops on my first day at university to buy them, and that's extension cords. Now in my experience, sockets tend to be placed in really weird parts of your room at university, and then you end up trying to like stretch your phone charger or laptop charger to reach the desk and it just won't go. So I would definitely say bring not just one, maybe 2 or 3 extension cords with you, so you can maybe put one next to your desk, one next to your bed, and just make sure that you have all of the sockets you need to plug in all of your gadgets. Like, you will have a lot of tech stuff with you if you're moving for a job or for university, so you might need to plug in your desktop monitor, your laptop, your phone. You might have a desk lamp plugged in. You might, you know, there's lots of different things you might need plugged in, so make sure you don't forget extension cords. Number 2 is blankets. Now it can definitely get a little bit cold, especially in my experience of student accommodation. It can get quite chilly, so I would definitely say to bring a couple of blankets. And this is also really nice if you just want to maybe like chill out in a friend's room, or maybe turn someone's room into like a snug sort of area and set up some bean bags. It's even just nice as a decoration to throw on the end of your bed. It'll just make your room feel a little bit more homey, so I can definitely recommend bringing a couple of blankets with you. Number 3 is a dressing gown. Now I don't know if you guys are like me, but it can feel a little bit awkward if you're moving in with strangers and you rock up to the kitchen early in the morning looking half asleep in your pajamas, and maybe you just want to cover up a little bit. So I would definitely recommend bringing a dressing gown with you, and just for comfort as well. Kind of like the blanket will keep you warm, and it's just a nice cozy house look. And if you are working from home or you're a student that's working from home, then maybe you just want to wear your dressing gown one day and feel really comfortable in your pajamas, and that's okay too. So number 4 is coat hangers. Now when I arrived at university, I was the fool that forgot to bring coat hangers, and I couldn't hang any of my clothes up. My family and I had driven down slightly early because we knew I had a lot of stuff to unpack, and we were traveling from a very far away place to get to university, and we knew that I needed all of the time that I could possibly grab to unpack my stuff, and it was such a nightmare and so annoying that I'd forgotten to bring coat hangers. I did end up having to like run around a couple of shops, I think, buy some new hangers. I think we went into Primark and they gave us some for free, like a big stack, so shout out to Primark. But yeah, definitely don't forget to bring coat hangers. And kind of on the back of that, number 5, I would say maybe you should consider bringing a clothes rail. Now you might be thinking, Emma, why on earth would I need a clothes rail? I know my accommodation will be fitted with wardrobes and drawers, but if you're like me and you packed a lot of stuff, a lot of outfits, then that wardrobe might not be enough. And I remember in my final year of university, I definitely really needed the extra space with my clothes rail. I just got a cheap one from like Wilko or Argos or something, and it really saw me through my final year, especially when you have to sort of pack for every season. You do end up bringing a lot of clothes with you, so yeah, definitely consider a clothes rail if you're short on space. Number 6, definitely get a desk lamp. You might be working late at night if you're a student, or you know, when those winter months cut in and it starts getting darker sooner than normal, you might be regretting not bringing a desk lamp just to make it a better working environment for you when you're working at home. You want it to feel comfy and cozy, and maybe that main light in your room is just a bit too bright and abrupt. And I would definitely recommend getting a desk lamp. I also had a bedside lamp as well because I do like to read in bed at night or watch Netflix at night, so it was just to give my room that little bit of a warm glow, and it meant that I didn't have to have the big annoying light on all the time. Number 7 is a desk tidy. So again, if you're like me and you love having lots of stationery like notepads, notebooks, diaries, pens, pencils, highlighters, coloured pens, notepads and sticky labels and the whole lot, then definitely get yourself a desk tidy. It will definitely tidy your stuff up, organize everything, give yourself more desk space by clearing it all up and putting it in one place, and I just think it looks neat and tidy. I love seeing my stationery in a desk tidy. If you don't know what that is, like, go ahead and look it up, but it's basically like a storage unit you can put on your desk that's quite small, and it just makes sure all of your stationery is packed away and tidied into one place. So definitely get one of those, especially if you know your desk is going to be too small and you need to maximize the space you can use for work. Number 8 is storage boxes. Chances are you're not going to have a lot of space if you're a young professional or a student at university, so you need to make sure you're really efficient with your space, and that means I definitely recommend storage boxes. Whether it's those sort of like flat, long plastic ones you can shove under your bed, or for example with my clothes rail there was a little bit of space that wasn't being used underneath. I just got a couple of boxes that I shoved wires and tangled things in, and just all sorts of random bits and bobs, handbags as well, and they just went nicely underneath my clothes rail or under my bed, and it meant that I was making the most use of the space I had and not wasting any space, and it meant my room looked really tidy for it as well. Number 9 is a whiteboard or a pinboard. If you're a student you might already have this in your room, but definitely as a young professional I was really thankful for bringing my own whiteboard with me to my new accommodation when I moved in. It just meant that I could make notes of really important things like meeting with this person or doctor's appointment here, just to keep myself in the know, make sure I wasn't missing anything, and I think it's just a nice way of leaving reminders for yourself. And I definitely think I would have been lost without one, especially because I'd had one throughout my time at university, so I was just used to leaving myself little notes like that on a whiteboard. Number 10 is fairly obvious, but I will say so anyway, just in case any of you forget, but don't forget your cutlery, your crockery, your pots and your pans. Some places will already have this stuff in. When I moved into the place I was renting as a young professional, I know a lot of this stuff was already there, but there might be a couple of bits and bobs that aren't there, so maybe check with your landlord first before going to make sure that you need to bring that stuff or what you don't need to bring. But things like Tupperwares were really useful as a student, especially if you're sort of bulk cooking meals and want to freeze them and put them away, or like bringing a lunch into your lecture theatre or work if you're working like me, like a packed lunchbox and things. So definitely don't forget to bring things like that, or maybe coordinate amongst the people you're living with to bring certain things, because chances are you all don't need to bring 5 pots and pans each. That'll just be too much. But definitely look into what's already there and what other people have and coordinate your crockery. Number 11, I've ran out of fingers. I've realised I shouldn't have started on my hands. Number 11 is clocks. Now, I personally didn't mind not bringing clocks because I don't like to listen to the ticking sound. It stresses me out a bit, keeps me awake at night. But if you do like to have a physical clock on the wall to check the time, don't forget to bring one of these, or even a digital clock to set an alarm. I know a lot of people are moving away from setting alarms on their phones to try and reduce their phone time. So maybe it's a good idea to bring with you a couple of clocks just that you can mount on the wall or put on the bedside table next to your bed. And make sure you're never late to your lectures or late to your 9 AM work start. Number 12 is diffusers or candles. Now, you might arrive at your accommodation and you might find that it has a funky smell. I've definitely been there before. Personally, I don't like to use candles. We don't really use candles in my household with my family because my mum thinks they're a bit dangerous. But if you do like candles, you can go for that and just make sure you're safe with them. But I really like diffusers. Actually, I've got one on my shelf right now. This is the one I use, and you just sort of, you can just turn the sticks around, and this leaves my room smelling great for weeks. So I could definitely recommend getting a diffuser. Again, it just makes your room smell nice, smell fresh, feel homelier. I definitely have people come in and comment that my room smells good, so that's also a bonus. I'm glad people think I'm clean and have good hygiene. What a good first impression to make. Number 13 is mirrors. Now definitely check that there are mirrors or aren't mirrors in the place you're moving into. I often make the mistake of forgetting to bring a mirror and turning up and realizing there weren't any good mirrors there, or maybe there was just a long mirror in the wardrobe, but I wanted maybe something smaller and close up so I could do my makeup or my hair in the morning. It's definitely easier to bring a small handheld mirror with you, but maybe you can find like a full length mirror on something like Gumtree or Facebook Marketplace, or check around with other students and young professionals in the area who might be selling their stuff if they're moving on. But definitely recommend checking what mirrors are in the property you're moving into and bringing some along if you need some. Number 14 is so important, and I feel like a lot of people forget about it. It's quite easy to forget, but bring a mattress protector. So obviously you'll probably remember to bring all of your important bed linen, like your duvet or duvet cover, your pillows and things like that, but it's really easy to forget things like a mattress protector, and chances are if you're renting then you're going to be using a mattress that many people have slept on before. Bit of a gross thought, but I think that's why it's so important to remember to bring a mattress protector, or if you've forgotten one, go out and buy one as soon as you get there. You do not want to be sleeping on somebody else's gross mattress. Number 15 is towels, and I know this seems really obvious, but in the heat of the moment and the packing madness, you might just forget to pack towels. This can mean tea towels or bath towels, or a face towel for your room in the morning just to wash your face, or a hand towel for the toilets if you're using communal toilets, shared spaces. A lot of you might forget to bring things like shared hand soaps and towels and things, so just make sure you've got enough towels packed with you, or again, go out and buy some when you get there, because it's so important to have a range of things like tea towels and face towels. Number 16 is an iron and an ironing board. Now, if you are a student or a young professional like me, then you might think, I don't really need to iron anything, or, you know, I think it looks fine not being ironed. I can stand a couple of creases. But trust me, when you go for a job interview or you start work and you need to start wearing smart blouses and trousers and you realize they crease really easily, you'll be thanking me for telling you to get an iron and an ironing board. And I think, again, these are things that you can sort of just get for the household. You can all share an iron or an ironing board and chip in to get one together. But it's definitely really, really useful to have, just in case you need to pull out that old blouse you never thought you'd wear again. Number 17 is a bin. And I don't mean like a huge kitchen bin that your landlord will probably provide for you, but like a bin for your room or a bin for the bathroom, for example. I know when I moved into my first place as an adult, there weren't actually any bins in my room at all, and it's really handy to have just, you know, a bin by my desk if I scrumple up a bit of paper and want to chuck it away, or I blow my nose, or I'm in the bathroom and I need to throw things out. So I would definitely recommend getting maybe a small bin just from something like Wilko again, or somewhere cheap like Poundland. You could probably get a cheap small bin from, just to make sure that you're not cluttering or littering in your room, and to make sure you're keeping it nice and tidy. Number 18 is, I'm not sure how to describe this one, but maybe like DIY bits and bobs. But by this I mean things like hooks, invisible hooks, tape, scissors, string, like push pins, what do you call those? Like drawing pins, things like that, just to decorate your room, or there might be something broken that you just need to quickly tape up. You never know when you're going to have to do a bit of a DIY job when you're moving into a new place. I know when I first arrived at uni, I wanted to hang some fairy lights up, so I needed to use those like invisible sticky hooks that you can just pull straight off and they leave no damage. Things like that I find are really, really useful. I actually do know a friend who bought some string and made a washing line in their room, because they didn't want to dry their clothes on the clothes rack. They'd rather peg things up like a washing line. So you never know when you might need these random DIY bits and bobs, but definitely make sure you're stocked up before you leave. Number 19 is a wash basket. Now, I personally like the ones with two sections, so you can separate your dark clothes and your light clothes, and it just makes it a little bit easier for washing up day when everything's already sorted into the necessary piles, and it means you can see how much of, you know, each pile you have, and you don't have to unnecessarily wash things, so you're being water efficient and energy efficient, and just all in all better for the environment. But yeah, definitely get yourself a wash basket. Even if it's just something small you can stick in the corner of the room. Don't be that person who dumps all of their dirty clothes on their chair or just leaves them on the floor in their room. You don't want to be that person. Number 20 is something you might not think you need, or you might not realize until you get to a certain season that you need it, but I definitely recommend bringing a fan, even if it's just a small desk fan or a little bedside fan, or I know you can even get those really big like long fans that oscillate to keep your whole room cool. I know you can open the window, but trust me, some of the accommodation I've stayed in gets really hot and stuffy, especially in the summer, and I thought to myself, why didn't I bring a fan? I think I remember texting my mum like, Mom, it's so hot, like, is my fan still in my room at home? And she actually boxed it up and sent it to me, so I didn't need to buy a new one, so thanks to her for that. But yeah, maybe you want to consider getting a fan just in case. I did find it really, really useful, especially when you're studying for exams in the summer and you're at your desk all day and the sun is shining through your window and it's just a bit sweaty and sticky. You don't want that. Number 21 is something that I realized I wish I'd had on my very first day of university, and that's a doorstop. Now you might be thinking, Emma, why on earth would you need a doorstop? That's a bit random. But it definitely helps to make your house a more sociable environment, I'd say. Like, we had those like heavy fire doors, you know, the ones that you let go and they just sort of slam shut. And that means it's really difficult to leave your door open and just chat to people as they come and go. So it can be really nice if you just prop your bedroom door open or the kitchen door open when you're in and free to chat to people. And it just means people might pop in and out with a cup of tea, with biscuits. And I found that it definitely made the house a lot happier, more sociable of an environment when we did just prop our doors open and just signal to everybody else that we lived with that, yeah, I'm a happy chatty person, come on in, have a cup of tea, I'm ready to chat, you know? Number 22 isn't the most essential thing in the world. It's not like bedding or pots and pans, but I would say it's definitely very important maybe for your mental health or your own well-being, and that's decorations. Now, if you're like me and you like your room to feel cozy and comfy and homely, or you might get homesick often, I can 110% recommend decorating your room with things you like that make you smile. Especially for me, I know in the winter, I like to have my fairy lights on because I did find it really hard when it got dark early on, but it just helped to give my room that bit of a lift and give my mood a boost as well. So things like, as I've said, fairy lights, wall art, hangings, paintings. I even had a painting up that my best friend had given me for my birthday, and it was a painting of my dog. I had that on my wall for a very long time at university. Rugs as well can be really nice. Throws over the edge of your bed, nice cushions. I feel like the list is kind of endless. Just pick what you like to decorate your room, you know, sculptures and statues and just cute little things like that to make your room feel as close to home as possible. And I think this tip's really great if you are moving out from home for the very first time and going to university, for example, just to bring that touch of home with you. So number 23 is toothbrushes and hairbrushes. I know these can both seem like really obvious things to bring, but in the rush of the moment when you're packing, especially last minute, it's really easy to forget the simple things, especially with something like a toothbrush or a hairbrush. You know that you're going to be using these on the morning that you're traveling still, so it's really easy to use it and then leave it on your desk or in your bathroom as you're headed out and just to forget to shove that in. So make sure you remember the essential sort of everyday items that you might take for granted or easily forget. Now number 24 I also think is really important, and I ended up lending this object out to a lot of people who I lived with because they'd forgotten to bring this, and that's a drying rack or a clothes rail or a clothes horse, whatever you want to call it. Just sort of like a rack that you can dry all of your wet laundry on, because it's really annoying if you forget this item and you've done a whole load of washing and you get to your room and you're like, where am I going to dry all of this stuff? Now sometimes landlords do provide these, again, like it's a communal piece of furniture that you can all use, but definitely worth checking with your fellow housemates that you're about to move in with if any of them have one or if the house already has one, and if not, definitely worth chipping in and all of you putting a little bit of money in to get one, or one of you bringing one. You could even sort of allocate it out. One person gets a clothes rail, one person gets an ironing board, one person gets an iron, just to make sure you're stocked up on all of these sort of everyday essentials that you might need. And finally, number 25, again, is maybe an obvious one, but might be easy to forget in the rush of things, and that's chargers. It can be really easy to forget that a lot of your tech stuff needs chargers, whether that's a laptop, a phone, a camera, an iPad, whatever other things you bring with you to university or to work. Just don't forget to bring your chargers. I think it's fairly easy to remember the bigger items like laptop. Don't forget that. I can't do work without it. But that does mean that you might forget things like I need my charger to actually work my laptop. So maybe just do a list of all the tech things you're bringing with you. Sorry, this bit of hair has annoyed me this whole video and I've been fiddling with it the whole time. Anyway, so maybe make a list of all of the tech things that you're bringing with you that might need a charger, and just check before you leave. Laptop, charger, tick. Phone, charger, tick. Just to really make sure you're not leaving any important electricals behind. So that's it, my 25 important things or most essential things to bring with you when you're moving away. I really hope this video has helped some of you who are moving away, whether that's to university or for a job like me. And try not to make some of the mistakes that I did when I was first a student or moved out for the first time. Try not to forget some of the silly things that, you know, might have completely slipped your mind on the morning of moving. I hope this video can be your saviour when you pack. Let me know if there's anything I mentioned that you would have completely forgotten or you didn't think to bring. And maybe add some of your own contributions too. What would you tell your friends to remember to bring? and we can all sort of help each other out in the comments section and make sure we don't forget anything important when we move out. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye.